Hey guys, for today's video I did this makeup tutorial right here. We're doing a glam prom makeup look. I feel so sassy, and I actually have no plans tonight, which is so sad because I play myself all the time and I do my makeup for videos and I always look cute, and then I just go in the room and get a face wipe and take it off. But this is the look we have today. Almost all, like 99% of it is drugstore with just like two things, but I'll get onto it into the video. I think I have a couple of other prom tutorials and I can't remember if they were drugstore or not, but I don't know. I was just thinking for this video, for girls or guys who are not able to get their makeup done, can't afford to get their makeup done, or they want to do their own makeup, I just wanted to keep it all drugstore. I wanted to keep it really affordable. I did my own makeup for all the school events that I went to because I just really didn't have the money to spend on a makeup artist. And not only that, but I wanted to do my own makeup because I loved makeup, and I actually started doing makeup after I graduated high school, which is crazy. Like, that was so long ago. And everything you can pick up at Ulta, CVS, Walgreens, order it online. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump on into the video. So I think the only non-drugstore thing that I used are my brushes, because, you know, like, brushes are kind of personal preference. You're gonna want to use whatever you're comfortable with, but also my paint pot, and only because that is literally the only eyelid primer that works for my old creasy eyes. You can use concealer, you can use whatever primer you want. You don't have to use primer if you don't use primer, but that's the only non-drugstore thing that I have in this video. We're gonna go in with the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe original palette, and the first shade I'm gonna take is this one right here. And I bought the palette the first time it came out, so I don't know any of the shade names because the original one doesn't have shade names on it. I'm gonna take an E40. This is my favorite blending brush, and I'm just going to start buffing this into the crease. We're gonna go like kind of light-handed. Light-handed's the wrong word. Usually when I do a transition, I just kind of take it and I'm like swoosh swoosh, just real quick, and it's just whatever because it's a transition, but we're actually only using 2 matte colors for this look. Even though it is a big event, I still wanted to keep the makeup easy. Like, it's still pretty, it's still dramatic, it's still like, you know, I don't know what that means, but it's still kind of like a little bit of glam, but it's easy at the same time. I wanted to keep it easy. So we're gonna go in like little by little and really build this color up because I am using such little transition colors. I'm just gonna really take my time blending this in. And again, usually I'm like just real quick, like throw something in my crease, but for this, we're gonna try to make it look like super fancy. I am gonna take this brush. This is my E25. It's a little bit more of a tapered brush, and I'm gonna go in with the shade down here. It's one of the darker browns in the palette. I'm looking straight into my mirror, and do you see where my eye folds naturally right there? We're gonna go right in that fold, but first, before I start blending, I'm gonna take this and kind of tap it in. Gonna make it a little more intense, but also just kind of lay the pigment down first. I know it looks crazy right now, but it will come together, I promise. If you have dry lids, or if you're maturing, it's like a nice way of saying you're getting older, and you start to notice you have drier lids. I notice that sometimes with my eyelids, they just like, shadow doesn't blend as nicely as it used to. So I found that when I kind of go in and pack on the color first, I don't have as much of an issue with like patchiness or anything like that. So I like to pack first, and then I kind of go back and forth between blending and packing. I'm not going in with any additional product either. I'm just really feathering the edges, bringing it all together. I'm also gonna kind of turn the side of my brush and use the very tip to blend the edges. I'm gonna go back in with the first transition we put down. I'm gonna tap off the majority of the product because I don't want to so much add a ton of color, because I really like the deeper crease shade. But I want to see just a little bit, like how I see it on this side. You see how you can kind of see that gradient? I want to see a little bit more of a gradient, and I'm almost like pushing it up into my crease, so I kind of have my head tilted back just so I can really see everything. And I'm just gonna lightly add a little bit more color. This is the NYX Glitter Goals, and this is the shade We Out. This is one of the easiest liquid shadows I've ever used. So I'll go ahead and show you guys a swatch. I talk about this all the time. They're so beautiful. They're so affordable. Only like $7. And on top of that, they're always on sale and they're really shiny. You don't need any glitter glue. I have really creasy eyelids. Nothing stays on my eye without glitter glue, especially a liquid shadow, like nothing. My eyes are so oily and creasy, I don't need a glitter glue with these. So I'm just gonna take this straight from here. The applicator is really nice. It's a doe foot, but it's like a really nice, like kind of rounded one. I'm not really like a big cut crease person, but you can kind of round it out to make it a cut crease, or you can do what I'm gonna show you in just a second. But first, initially, I like to just lay it down, like just to have the initial application. But do you see how there's kind of that harsh line? I take a little bit on my ring finger, and I'm actually just gonna use this finger to kind of tap this up into my crease, and this is going to diffuse it. It's going to make it look a lot softer. It's going to make it look more effortless and just like it's fading up into your crease. But you want to make sure you just dab a little bit on your finger just to kind of help you move everything. That's it for the shadow, pretty much. Well, at least for the top part. We still have the rest of the eye to finish off, but we're gonna do a wing today. Now, normally, you guys know I'm not a big wing person, but like, it's prom, so let's go all out. So I'm gonna take my little MAC brush. This is the 210. Take any wing liner brush that you're comfortable with. And I'm gonna use the Maybelline Gel Liner. This is a really great, like, beautiful, awesome, long-lasting drugstore gel liner. Use whatever you have. You can use a liquid liner if you're more comfortable doing wing with a liquid. Normally what I like to do if I'm doing a wing liner, I don't even bother doing an outer V color because I kind of feel like the wing is gonna cover it up anyways. That's also something to keep in mind because I know a lot of people have a hard time when they're learning how to do makeup or they're doing their own makeup, is that a lot of people have a hard time doing the outer V and making it kind of blend and not look too harsh. That was definitely what I struggled with way back when I first started doing makeup. I always did the little triangle and it just like never looked right, but it's just because I didn't know how to do it. So if you're still like learning how to do makeup and you're doing your own makeup for prom, you can always skip the outer V and do a wing. You don't even have to do a wing, you can do whatever you want, but this is always just something that I recommend if you have an issue with the outer V. Just throw on a wing and skip the outer V because the wing is gonna cover up the outer V anyways. I like to lay down the initial line first. I also like this liner because it's really creamy. You have a lot of work time with it. It doesn't dry down, so you feel like you're rushed, and then if you go over it, sometimes with gel liners they start to crumble if you don't move fast enough, but this one gives you a lot of work time. You want to get like a decent little amount on the very tip of your brush. You're gonna do just one swoop motion, just like that. Start right here and then take it down. And then all you gotta do is fill it in from there. I really have to be feeling some type of way to do a wing, but you know, sometimes it's just necessary. I always like to go up and clean up my wing and kind of fix things. Maybe I want to make the tail a little bit longer, but I always do that after my lashes. I already know I'm gonna have to fix this because already I can see this isn't matching this one, but I'm gonna do that in just a second. I'm gonna put on my lashes first, and then we will just kind of even out the wings. I did my lashes. I use these from House of Lashes. These are the Style Iconic. I have a ton of affordable lash videos if you want to try something different. I just really like these because they're a little bit more dramatic and they kind of have like a winged effect, and this is just the style that I wanted to go for. I didn't want to bore you guys, so I did a little like detailed work off camera. So I just evened out my liner a little bit. I did want a little bit more of the deeper brown, so I just added a pinch more, and that's really all I did. So for primer, I did use this one, the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is a really, really great primer. I like it a lot, but I had suspected it was breaking me out, so I took a break from it, and I'm gonna use it again to see if that's what was actually breaking me out. We're gonna do like a full beat face today, and I'm gonna take the L'Oreal Infallible. This is the Fresh Wear. I'm in the shade 425 for reference, and this can be, I feel like, full coverage depending on your skin. I love this foundation. It's very, very long lasting, and I think it makes the skin look so beautiful. Like, even though we're going full glam, like a full beat face, you still want your skin to look, there's a little hair. You still want your skin to look like skin, you know? I mean, Maybe you don't, and that's fine. But that's my opinion. Even when I do a full beat, I still want my skin to look like skin. I still want to look like myself, just cover it up. You also want to make sure you take it down your neck. You don't want to look like your face is just a different color than your body. That wouldn't be cute. So we're gonna drag it down the neck. I also really like to take my time pressing foundation into my skin because I just want everything to look super perfect. I want everything to be natural. We want to look like our skin, but better. I actually lied. I thought that I was using all drugstore, but I'm gonna use my Shape Tape again, only because I just have really creasy under eyes and I just gotta use what works for me. Did you guys know that they came out with mini Shape Tapes? I didn't know. They're $10. You don't get a lot of product in them. But if you want to just test out Shape Tape, if you've never tried it before, they do have mini ones at Ulta. I've seen them there. But just use whatever concealer you have. It's just that Shape Tape is just, it's the best. I have yet to find a really amazing drugstore concealer. If you can please recommend one for me, that would be honestly so appreciated, because I got to the point where I just don't even try concealers anymore because I'm almost always disappointed. So please leave me your suggestions below, because I would love to find like a drugstore one. I want to make sure to just kind of clean up right here. I'll usually just take the tip of my sponge, just kind of sharpen that just to make it look a little cleaner. Kind of makes your wings stand out a little bit more too. And I'm not a big fan of highlighting my whole face, again, just because I don't like a ton of product all over my face. But for a special event, if I want to look really bright and awake, I will take concealer all the way down here and around my nose, especially around my nose because I get a lot of redness right here. Whatever's left over on my sponge, we'll take it on the chin. I'll just take the tip of my sponge and just very lightly go down the center. And in this area, my nose is so red right now because I was extracting. I have a magnified mirror on my vanity and I will seriously sit and just squeeze all my blackheads. So nasty, but also so satisfying at the same time. All right, we're gonna go in with the Essence Banana. Wow, I got fancy. We're gonna go in with the Essence Banana Powder and we're gonna just set the concealer. Somebody recommended for me to try the J-Cat powder to set your concealer. They said it was really, really smooth, so I'm gonna look for that. I'm pretty sure they sell J-Cat at Ulta, right? I'm gonna look for that. I'm like desperately looking for something new. I naturally have really dark under eye circles, so I need a really bright under eye area. It just makes me feel better about myself. I'm gonna take the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the shade Fair Light. I'm gonna use this to bake my concealer. Now baking I feel like is key, especially for an event like prom where you're gonna be dancing, you're gonna be outside taking pictures, and you don't want anything to move. I feel like sometimes when people bake, they just go in like way crazy heavy. It keeps it in place, but it just, like when it starts to wear away and when your skin starts to get oily, it just looks like caked up makeup, like wearing away. So I always say go in light layers. It's still gonna give the same effect, but it's just not a ton of excess product that you don't necessarily need. So I always like to do just a little bit. Now typically I only do my concealer, but since we wanna look really nice and super fancy today, I'm gonna take it down and I'm not dipping in or anything with any additional product. I'm just gonna bring down whatever is left on my sponge just to give that nice highlighted under the eye effect. And for the rest of my face, I'm gonna go in with this. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Loose Powder. This is a really, really nice powder. I absolutely love this. The only thing I will say is that if you are really, really oily, this is not gonna last all night. But if you have like normal to dry skin, combination skin, I think this is fine. I can usually get about like 5 hours of wear time out of this. You could also even take the Maybelline Fit Me powder. They have a couple of different colors. Me personally, I'm a little more of a fan of a translucent powder. Let's go in with bronzer. This should be no surprise. I'm going to take the Maybelline City Mini Bronzer. I'm in the shade 200. Butter bronzer is awesome as well. You guys know how much I love the butter bronzer. But I ran out of my light shade, or I gave it away. I think I gave it away. I think I gave it to my cousin actually because she wanted to try it. So I'm using this. I cannot wait until I get a tan. I'm trying to work on my tan. Somebody commented on one of my videos and I can't remember what they said. It wasn't like a mean comment or anything. It was like, wow, she keeps saying how pale she is. If she's pale, what am I? And I was like, I swear I look more tan in the videos. I'm actually like insanely fair. Also, keep in mind, I have a warm undertone to my skin. I think that kind of helps make me look a little more tan than what I am, but I am actually quite fair. I'm like an NC 20 right now in foundation, believe it or not. I know, y'all thought I was exaggerating, but I'm not. To contour, I'm gonna take this. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. I'm using the shade Forever Sunkissed. Today, honey, we're gonna go in with the contour. So I'm gonna go a little heavier. I want my face to look snatched. I know it's gonna look a little harsh right now, but once we have everything on, it's gonna come together. We're gonna take that same Wet n Wild powder, take your sponge, and go right underneath. Usually I leave it just like that, but because I wanna just look super snatched today, I'm gonna go ahead and just like load this on. We're gonna leave this powder sit on the face, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and just kind of touch up my brows because I want my under eye area to bake a little bit longer too. And I don't need a lot of work. I'm just gonna kind of fill just in a little bit right here. I don't like that I can kind of see that line. And then for some reason I always kind of wipe off the tail of my brows. This is the Covergirl Micro Fine and Define. I almost spit. The Covergirl Micro Fine and Define brow pencil. I'm almost out of it. I need to get another one like this weekend because I'm about to run out. Like, I think it has one more use left today. I'm gonna take this e.l.f. brush and I'm gonna pat this in. I like to pat in first just to make sure we're not moving anything, we're not moving any liquids, and then I'll kind of go in and just like very lightly with the tip dust away any extra powder. I'm gonna go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade right here. It's kind of like a rich, warm brown. I'm gonna lay this down first. I normally like to connect the lower lash line to the outer V, but since I have a wing, I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna brush it up to the very base of the wing lightly, just to kind of make it look a little bit smokier because we're going for smoky glam today. And then I'm gonna take that shade that we used in the crease, this darker brown right here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna mix this with a little bit of black. Let's go ahead and do that, just to make it a little more dramatic. Press it as close to the lash line as possible. Dip back into that original color that we used, and then just add a little bit more definition underneath that, but it's also gonna blend out that line as well. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I just don't have a drugstore mascara right now, and I'm trying to finish off the ones that I have before I buy another one, but the L'Oreal Power Volume is amazing. The L'Oreal Voluminous is amazing. Lash Paradise is good. Maybelline has awesome mascaras. Just make sure you get waterproof. I promise you, you will not regret it. I'm gonna go in with the shade for the brow bone right here. I'm gonna take this with this little detailed brush. I'm gonna go right under the arch, but normally I don't drag my brow bone over to this part of my brow, but I'm gonna do it today because, bitch, I feel like it. Want a nice bright inner corner, come push it up in here. We look 10 pounds lighter. This blush should be no surprise. I'm using the Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon. This is my favorite drugstore blush ever, but also I really like this because I feel like it's just a good color to go with any type of eye look. Like, it looks good with everything because it's kind of like a more neutral shade. It's bronzy, it's pretty. I've been taking a little bit on my nose. That's my thing lately. And then let's blend all of this together. I'm gonna take my bronzer brush, just kind of make sure everything looks perfect, no harsh lines. Blend the blush into the contour and the bronzer. We're gonna highlight, and for that, I'm gonna take this one from e.l.f. This is the Coffees and Cream X Heart Defensor. No, wait. This is the e.l.f. X Heart Defensor Coffees and Cream. Okay, I got it totally mixed up. But I talked about this in my underrated products video. This is one of the most beautiful highlights I've ever used, and for a picky bitch like me, that's saying a lot. So I just take these two and mix them together, tap off the excess, and we're gonna hit the the high points of the face. I'm telling you, I was not impressed with this when I first got this highlighter, but when I went out in the natural light, it looks absolutely stunning. Hopefully it's coming off on camera. Studio lights really do dull down certain products, which is kind of like that's why I kind of have a love-hate relationship with like showing products on camera, because sometimes I feel like it just doesn't do it justice. But I promise you, you will love this highlighter. It is stunning. I love highlighting my chin. I don't know why, it's just like a thing that I can't not do from now on. I'm not gonna take it all the way down my nose. I'm gonna keep it right there, and then I'll hit the tip. Just looks so freaking cute, like a little cutie pie. Now normally I would say, you know what, for like a high school tutorial, like we're doing prom videos, I don't want people to be like, oh, I gotta go rush and buy this. And you don't, but you know what, baby, it's prom, so we're gonna take it there. I'm gonna take this from ColourPop. I have not used this since last summer, so I'm excited to pull it out again. This is the Luster Dust in the shade Know Me. And I feel like if you're not gonna use a highlight topper in regular life, like prom is the time to do it, you know? I'm not sure if you can get these at Ulta. I ordered this from the ColourPop website, but if you can't, go ahead and check out this one from Wet n Wild. This Crystal High one is beautiful. I love it as a highlight topper. I'm telling you, I haven't been able to stop using that lately, but for the sake of this video, let's go ahead and do this one because I think this goes better with the look that we did. I mean, we just took it there. In just one little motion, we took the highlighting to the next level. And you know what? I'm like, prom is the time to do it, okay? This is the Essence Make Me Brow Gel. I use the shade 02. I told you guys in a past video that this disperses a lot of product and it can be a little heavy sometimes. So you wanna make sure you scrape off the very, very top because we're just gonna run this mainly through the ends of the brows. So if you kind of missed a few spaces with your brow pencil, this will help fill them in because it's a fiber filling brow gel, but it'll also get all that powder out of your brows, like translucent powder, highlight. And then once I use the majority of the product on the rest of my brow, I'll go ahead back in and just very, very lightly fill the front. Let's go ahead and settle everything. This is my Mario spray. It's gonna settle all those powders. It's gonna make your skin look much more natural, glowy. I'm gonna go a little more detailed on the lips than I normally do. Please ignore this. You guys, I'm a picker and my lips were dry and I was just picking and picking and picking until it's like my lips raw at this point. I'm gonna take this lip liner from LA Girl. This is the Ultimate Lip Liner in Keep It Spicy. I like to connect my Cupid's bow just a pinch, like the tiniest bit. It's almost non-existent, but it's just a little something. And then I overline my top lips a little bit. My top lips are a little thinner than my bottom, so I overline just a tiny bit. I'm gonna take this from Milani. This is the Amor Satin Matte Lip Cream. This is in the shade number 2. You can leave it like this if you like more of a matte look. I personally wouldn't necessarily pair this color with this eye. I think it's a little too pink. I do more of a nude, but I am gonna go in with a gloss, so you'll see it'll look a little more nude once we get the gloss down. But I'm gonna take that lip liner again. I just wanna do a little more defining, just right here. I'm gonna take this gloss. This is from Wet n Wild. This is in the shade Caught You Bare Naked, and then this is in the shade Sun Nudes. I'm obsessed with these. I talk about these all the time, so this should really be no surprise. You can either take just Sun Nudes if you want, but I really like the way the two look together. So I'm gonna just mix them like I normally do. This is actually a combo that I do all the time. Like all the time. I can't stop using these. I'm almost out of these glosses. I've never gone through glosses that fast in my life. I know it's a lot of colors, but I just feel like the color that I get is not something I can get from just one product. So also, you don't have to do the liquid lip if you don't want to. You don't even have to do the lip liner. I'm just taking Caught You Bare Naked and putting it in the center. You don't even have to do the lip liner. These two glosses look beautiful just on their own, but for an event, I do this on my clients who are going to events. If they don't want a liquid lip, normally my clients don't do liquid lips because they're going to an event. scent, so their makeup's gonna be on for a really long time, and like just a lot of people aren't as comfortable wearing liquid lips. So I always do a liquid lip first, and then I do a gloss on top, and that helps with the longevity of your lip product. So I do this all the time. I literally, like, you could not pay me to wear a liquid lip. Okay, yeah, you probably could, but honestly, I hate liquid lips so much unless they're like that satin formula, like the Milani one. I just love a gloss. Like, I want to be comfortable more than anything. I'm just adding a little bit more because I want it to be a little more nude in the center. Even if the gloss starts to wear off, you still have the liquid lip underneath, so you still have color to your lips, but it doesn't wear away as quickly as a gloss. And then I always tell my clients, take a gloss with you in your purse, and when you're drinking or something and you get lipstick on your cup, your gloss will wear off, but your liquid lip will still be on underneath, and then all you gotta do is just take your gloss and top it off and freshen it up, and it will last the whole event. This is the finished look. I know it's a lot of products, but honestly, this is just how I really like to do my makeup. And also too, I don't want to say like go out and buy all these products to create this look, because there's a lot of things you can skip. Hopefully I did a good job of explaining that along the way, but I just kind of feel like prom is a special occasion. It's a big event in especially as a high school student's life, and you know, I just want you guys to feel as beautiful as possible. I just feel like it's like a really like important time where if you want to play with makeup or you want to do these things that you wouldn't normally do on an everyday basis, you could do it for prom and it's fun, you know? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you guys are going to do this type of look for prom, or if you want other prom tutorials, like something a little more natural. I know I did one last year, so if you guys want to see that for this year, go ahead and let me know, and I'm more than happy to do it. Leave any requests below, any comments, anything you want to tell me, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe before you go and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'll see you in my next one.